Hey, 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 what's going on? What is going on over here? Hey, hey, hey. Are we not ready for that? Tony G. Ted Thomas first one here into 20,000 dough. Oh, my stomach hurt. Gino Bass number 2 and Tony G number 3. Man, I drank too much last night. Hey, so we got an old boy out here at a March for Life thing. Right now, interviewing people. You were just watching this?
Do you know what it is? At all three stages, all three trimesters, do you know what the procedure is like? If they see it, I don't have to say anything. They kind of know, and they can make those choices. Informed choices, empowering women. Take a look at it. It's on YouTube.
Do you think that America will be united based on these conversations?
I hope so. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'd like to think that we can be united. Until we are united for women, we're going to keep showing up. You know, not to fight. I'm not about it. I'm really about being here for women. I have daughters. I am a woman.
I'm having stomach
I want
spasms
what's good for
even right
women in
now.
all senses. Just help, support, and the state that supports them in pregnancy.
And also for all the men, right? All the unborn
Absolutely.
men.
For every abortion, 1 out of every 4 women have had abortions. That means 1 out of every 4 men are affected. I talk with men all the time who felt so helpless, who felt like this was their baby too, and they didn't get a word to say about it. And young men today who I talk to, teenage boys who are afraid to say anything because they feel like, well, I'm not a woman, so I can't say anything. And that's so unfair, because it does take you to create a life. You should have a say in what happens. And you should be held responsible for if you do, you get somebody pregnant, you gotta you'll be responsible for that. You gotta help out. It is not just her, it is yours too. So if you want to voice and say, hey, I don't want her to do this, you need to be the one who's gonna stick it out and help her out, go through that. If she chooses, or I wish she'd choose to go ahead and have this, but the state needs to support her too. Like, everyone needs to come together and support women.
And then, are you with the organization that you said, the Tulare Right to Life?
I'm with Tulare King's Right to Life. Okay. I'm a fertility care practitioner. That's my first job, but I work with a nonprofit to really help get the message out. I am post-abortive. I'm one of those women who talk about it. My experience with Planned Parenthood, I didn't get any choices in that crisis situation, so it's unfortunate that the crisis pregnancy centers that do really offer that kind of counsel are kind of being shut down, or say it's trying to shut them down.
And where can the people find you at to contact you or anything?
Anne-Marie at tkrl.com.
Okay, any social medias?
Not with TKRL. Yeah. Got my own, and no, I'm not going to put it out there.
No, I appreciate you. Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Yeah,
appreciate
God bless. Appreciate you.
I got another one.
Yeah. I do, yeah.
Can I say something for Seth Gruber?
Yeah.
Seth Gruber?
Yeah, come on in.
Okay.
Let everybody know who you are and what you do.
I was in a fetal position this morning for a little while. In
Stand Up
bed.
Sac and Freedom Angels.
Okay.
I love those people there.
And then what is your sweatshirt all about?
Okay, this T-shirt is from Seth Gruber. It's called the White Rose Brigade. And Seth Gruber is an amazing man. Go online and look him up. He is just something else. He was raised by a mother who was a director
Hey, all y'all
in
like
one
the
of
stream that are here. I
the
appreciate
family
you.
planning clinics. And so he spent his entire, literally, lifetime learning about pro-life issues and about what they actually did. I mean, graphic details, what they actually did with babies. Excellent story. I'm not going to give it away, but you got to go in and find out the White Rose Brigade. It says here, death won't stop the righteous. Seth Gruber, White Rose Brigade. You're going to enjoy the story.
And then if I can ask you, what does being pro-life mean to you?
Oh my goodness. Being pro-life to me is everything that Jesus is. Even in his death on the cross to save us from our sins, he was thinking forward ahead for us. Pro-life for each one of us to keep us out of the pit of hell. So to me, it's just an extension of the love of our Father who is our creator. I'm telling you, ladies, there's
aliens?
ABCs to this nonsense here. It doesn't start with abortion.
They were going to vaporize us.
And it goes to the B.
Jesus is like,
B
no.
for, and then contraceptions. To me, it's easy as ABC. Abstinence.
Like, okay.
And then if you're not going to do that, before you do this act, contraceptives. I think we're handling it from the wrong
That's what they're going to
angle.
kill all of us. Collect
Why
the
do we
gold
have
that we've
to
been
get at death.
gathering out of the ground.
Why can't we handle it again before? It used to be a time in this world when we did teach abstinence, when we were teaching our children chastity and purity and praying for their future mates. Now it just seems like the more partners you have.
Do you think that's the problem in
It's
society
gonna
where
make
the
world of the world.
hookup culture kind of encourage that behavior to just go
gonna
around and
suction
slip
us
in
up
anybody
into these
without taking
things.
responsibility of what comes with it?
Blend
I
us
think
up
that has a lot to
and
do with
extract the
one's
gold off of
self-worth.
us, out of our teeth,
One
out of
thing
our
that we need
hands,
to
everything.
remember is each other, the people around us, this guy, that girl, they don't determine our value. Jesus Christ, our Creator, determines our value. And when we remember that we don't need this other person to make us who we are.
The great
We have
harvest,
Him.
yes.
He is not
Alien
only our
harvest.
Creator, He's our designer. And when we give Him glory for that and we live in that mindset, we don't look at this person to be somebody. And I think we kind of got lost a little bit along the way there. You know, got popularity, who can we be here, who can we be there?
And where can the people find you or, your organization at?
I do have internet, but I'm under the tutelage of Stand Up Sacramento and Freedom Angels. My name is T. Hi, everybody. I'm T.
I appreciate you talking to me, T.
Sure
Thank you.
thing.
God bless you.
And
Thank
God's
you.
blessings to you, friend. Thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate
Thank you, girls, for all you're doing and heading up all of this stuff. We love you.
Thank you. Appreciate
Let me
you.
go get the other one.
Okay. Cool. Men's condoms, use once, get done.
Found a new camera.
Yeah,
Look
great
at this
stuff.
one.
Great stuff. That's why I like talking to pro-lifers as well as pro-choicers, because I think it moves the conversation forward
It's
and
a
allows
live
information
fandom. Why is
to
it
get through
playing?
YouTube to maybe those who are watching and want to
Now
learn
it's a
about
live
this stuff.
fandom.
So I think it's important to hear both sides. Again, there's such a small crowd for the pro-choicers. Again, it's actually fascinating because, because last year when there was an abortion rally, it was like the same crowd you see here for pro-lifers was the same crowd you saw for pro-lifers, for pro-choicers. I'm sorry, but with the counter-protest that's happening. Not to say that there's not any pro-choicers in California, but we're not really seeing a big turnout for the pro-choicers. A very small turnout. So I think that's interesting to me because if you really want to oppose the those that you
that's interesting
are
to
against,
me.
it'd be a bigger crowd.
That's a silly sentence.
So it's interesting. It's interesting. Thank you, Arvark. I appreciate
think that's
you.
interesting to me. I'm not sure yet.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
I need to think about it more.
No worries, no worries.
Why? No, for sure. If I think it's interesting. No, for sure it's interesting. It's possibly interesting.
It's
to
getting
me,
cold,
is what
I'll
I'm
tell you
saying.
that. Sorry for my yawning. But
I do that same shit. I'm just critiquing.
it is getting cold.
I'm snooty.
I should have brought my gloves. My gloves are actually in my backpack, so. Just real quick, can you guys hear me okay? For those of you guys watching, can you hear me okay? I just want to make sure.
Hang loose, my man. What's that surfer thing? Can you hear me okay? Party on, Garth. Oh my god. Hang loose,
So I'm
brother.
laughing because one of the pro-choicers, they met me last year, and I thought we had a decent conversation. And she was like, this is earlier. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate you. This was earlier. She's like, oh, I saw you last year. I was like, hey, how you been? She's like, oh, good. She goes, I still don't like you. And I was like, that's cool. It is what it is. Loud and clear? Okay, cool. Appreciate that. So, but yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I just want to have a conversation. I want to just talk to people. I think we can really get somewhere if we just understand each other and know why we're doing what we do. What's up, Pedro?
Something still seems to be wrong with my lungs, dude.
Again,
I don't
very
know,
small crowd for pro-choices, man. It
I
really
had
is
the
a small
CT scan
crowd.
though, so I should be
But
good.
I gotta get away from this music though, because there's music playing right now, and I think YouTube will demonetize me for the music. So I'm trying to like talk as much as I can while the music's playing. I may just move locations, so I can maybe like try to talk to some of these pro-choices, maybe try to see what's up. But we'll see. I'm also trying to talk to some bystanders as well, trying to see what they think Hopefully try to get the conversations going with the bystanders who are walking past. Hopefully no one gets mad and tries to knock my phone down.
Doctors
That's
in
one of the
chat.
reasons why I don't use the cord phone, the cord microphone. You never know who's gonna try to like pull it, do something weird. So,
Dude,
What's up,
Atlanta
brothers? How
is
you guys
getting
doing?
crazy, by the way.
hello, how you guys
I
doing?
almost went live to talk about that. Atlanta, dude, those fucking Antifa people out there
Yeah. But anyways,
acting a fucking fool. Last night,
how
yesterday,
you doing, man?
there's a police cam footage of it showing
I try to be as
the
friendly as
catch
possible.
on fire, multiple
Sometimes,
big,
Oh,
heavy
real quick, let me check
equipment,
my phone battery real quick. I
backhoe
gotta make
type
sure
shit.
my
It's like
phone
3
doesn't
of them
die.
were set of fucking
Okay.
flame.
We are at
they're
59%.
shooting
I'm
an
gonna turn down the
industrial
brightness just a
fireworks.
little bit,
That's how the cops called
just so I
them.
can save the battery. So,
And big ass boulder, they're chucking big ass rocks at them.
I'll raise it a little bit. I just turn the
Because they don't
brightness
want them
down
to
just a little bit so I
build
can
a
save my
police
battery. I'm at
training
59%, so
facility there.
I'll go for maybe like another 15 minutes, maybe another half an hour.
Why don't they
And
have you
then
live
charge my
stream?
battery. So
I can say
I
learn
want
your
to
lesson.
record the march as they go along, so hopefully we'll get that. So I'll probably go for like, again, 15, 30 minutes. So Pedro said, great interview, Julius. I appreciate you, everything you do. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Lucas, this is Judy. She is from Bakersfield, Right to Life.
Okay.
Hi,
How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
What's your name?
Judy.
Judy, I'm Julius.
Oh, Julius.
Yeah, make sure I have your friend here. Okay, we're all good? Okay. And,
Sorry.
no, you're all good. You're all good.
Your jacket, you took your name tag off. I hope you didn't lose it.
No, it's good. What would I do without my people? You don't want to.
Right? Makeup artist, makeup artist.
It's a joke. Yeah, I wish.
No, you're all good. You're all good. So tell the folks who you are and what you're all about.
Hi, my name is Judy Goad. I am the Executive Director for Right to Life of Kern County in Bakersfield, California, and I am all about life. I am here today to celebrate life, so I am 100% pro-life.
Okay. And then what does it mean to be pro-life?
Pro-life means that we believe that every human, from conception to natural death, is valuable. They have a right to have a life, and that life in itself is valuable. We just want to make sure that people understand that every human has a right to have a life. Every human is valuable. It doesn't matter how small you are or how old you are. So from conception to natural death, I believe personally that God chooses the when, the why, the how of when our lives are to be ended, not an arbitrary doctor.
Okay.
God chooses.
I agree. What do you think that pro-choicers are not understanding when it comes to the procedures or the fact that they think that abortion is healthcare? Like, what are they missing?
I'm not so sure that they're missing anything. If they were missing something, I think they're missing the reality that abortion murders an innocent life.
They answered all
But
these
unfortunately,
prayers
I think
and
they
that.
put themselves in front of that innocent life. Even the argument of my body, my choice, doesn't take into consideration of that other body or the choice for that innocent child. So I'm not so sure that they're missing the reality that abortion ends a life and violently ends a life, but they're putting themselves before that reality, that they don't want to have a baby. It's not convenient for them to have a baby, or they don't think that there are other options, so that they're choosing to end the life of someone else because it's not what they want at that time.
Yeah.
And what they're not realizing is that all they have to do is give life to that baby for 9 months, carry that baby, and then you can hand that baby over to someone who would raise that child. Adoption is an option. Parenting is an option. It's not easy, but it is an option. But abortion ends all options.
Some women
that baby.
aren't
And it
willing
does
to
harm the
go
mother
that
as well.
long
It
without
does
drinking
leave
and
a scar
shit.
in their life.
It's probably
There's
better
regret.
off you don't
There's
make
so
them
many
have
things that
that
happen to
fucking
them
kid
after
because it's
having
going to be
abortion.
retarded.
That's actually my
They're
next
gonna drink
follow-up.
and they're
What would you say
drug
to
or whatever the
pro-choicers
fuck.
who say,
You know what I'm
well,
saying?
what about
You
rape
can't
and
make those
incest?
people stop
I would
doing
say
that
rape and
shit.
incest is a terrible, violent act, and I do believe in punishment for the
the
person
kid's gonna be
that
punished
commits
for it.
that violent act. But I do not
These people are
believe that a
ridiculous,
baby,
man. Her
an
kind
innocent
that are
child,
super,
should be
like,
punished for the actions
religious
of their
about
father.
it
I
and
also do
making
not
it
believe
out
that
to be
the
like
baby
this.
should be aborted because they are innocent. We do not punish or
She's the
murder innocent people
president.
for something they have no control over. Their value is no less diminished simply because of their conception. They are still a valuable human being. It's not their fault that they were conceived in rape.
dude.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's what I tend to kind
you
of tell
can't make the
pro-choicers when they
fucking
say
bomb
rape and
go to
incest. I say,
treatment
well,
and shit
what about all the
and all
babies
that,
who
like,
were born
sometimes
from
it's
rape
better
who
off
became successful people,
that
doctors,
that
entertainers,
kid
what
doesn't
have
get
you?
punished.
Should we tell them that they shouldn't have been born? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Before he was
We
even
cannot
born.
put the value of a human being's life on their
then he
parents
gets born,
or
it's like,
the violent act of
as
their
a-
parent.
then he ends up
They're
being
an
a fucking
innocent
serial killer or some shit.
human being. The perpetrator of the rape should be punished, but not the innocent child. Let them have life. They are valuable.
Yeah.
Right.
How can we unite
Right, you know what I mean? What if
pro-choicers
they
and
end up being a
pro-lifers
serial
to find
killer?
common
That
ground?
dude that you just
I think we need
had
to have civil
born
conversations. I
a
don't think we
broken
need to
family
have
and
them
shit.
coming out
They end up
screaming
doing some really stupid shit, like a
obscenities and
school
yelling.
shooter or
But if you
something.
want to sit down and have a civil conversation and let's look at the science, let's look at the facts, let's look at what abortion truly
think
is
about
and what
what
it
you-
truly
like,
does, and let's talk about
where you're putting
and
a
share
kid
with
that has
me
to
what
get
your feelings
adopted,
are,
his
why you
parents
think
don't
abortion
want it.
is
How's that
okay, and
gonna
let me
affect
share
him?
with you why I think
It kinda
abortion
sucks,
is not
man.
okay.
I mean, yeah,
But we have to
anybody
have a
that's
civil
still alive and
conversation.
has been
We're not
adopted
gonna
are probably
get
like, man,
anywhere
I'm
with each
glad
other
I
if we
was
just
able to
keep
live.
screaming at each other.
You wouldn't know it any
What
better.
would be your
You know what I'm
message
saying? You would
to
just went
just
into
the
another
world about
life,
what they can
actually.
learn
That's how I
from
believe.
being
I believe
pro-life?
reincarnation. So it would have been
gosh,
so
I
like
think
pop,
being pro-life
and then pop.
means that we value
You're being
people.
born as
We
something else,
value the
maybe.
gift
Maybe
of
not a
life.
human, maybe
Someone
another
chose
human.
life and gave me life. My parents chose to
You
give
know,
me
it-
life. I chose to give my children life. I think that we just need to say that
don't
we
like
are
her
not
voice,
God.
bro.
We do not get to plan when an innocent life is born or when an innocent life is taken.
We kind of
But just to
are
look
God, though,
on
because
the
we
beauty
can
and the
do that,
blessings
dude.
that comes when
We
a
actually
life
can
is chosen.
choose that.
I appreciate you.
So-
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm going to take care.
The super religious fanatic people are dying on, honestly. That's happening. Slowly but surely. It's happening. And our world isn't going to
Why not? Come on, man. Hey, come over here. Come over
be
here.
so much like
Come
that
over
in
here.
the future.
Everybody knows who you are. Most people know who you are. We got the great Max in the house, y'all. What's up, Max? How you doing, man?
Not much. I'm just living it up and enjoying today. We got a lot of comedians over here, for sure. And I just can't stop laughing.
Can you elaborate on that?
It's one thing to be spiritual,
we
it's
got-
another to
we
be a
got
fucking
signs
Bible
that
thumper
say,
and believing
"Hands off
that
my
shit's the
uterus,"
all
and,
say
like,
all
they're
fucking.
saying, you can't bear a child, you
It's
can't bear
been
a child,
rewritten
you
so
can't bear
many
a child, but
fucking
I bet
times.
you
Who
they
knows
can't
what the
tell me what a
original
woman is.
said,
So,
man?
it's kind of laughable,
Like, I don't
to be
believe it
honest.
They got some music
I
playing.
believe
What do you
everything
think about
in
the music
it,
playing?
like that, like those people do.
Degenerate.
Should we have some like dance choreography? Should we
but here's the thing.
have a dance
Even
battle?
though it's degenerate, I think that someone should just get on the floor and break dance right in front of us. Even though there's like swearing, profane words, like sexually explicit kind of stuff. I just feel like someone should just kind of get down and break dance. It's not horrible music. I mean, there's a lot of good like secular music. It's just that the lyrics kind of just like ruins it. You know what I mean?
Bro.
Like it's good music and all, but you know.
So let me
My
ask you
mom
this.
doesn't listen to secular
What does
music anymore.
pro-life mean to you?
Well, pro-life means that life starts at conception. I was actually
doesn't
on a
talk
Twitter
to me
space, and I
because
think they were
she's
talking about
having a relationship with
Grant
Jesus now
Cardone
instead,
and all these
actually.
other people. They were talking
told me
about
some shit like that.
like
So you can
eggs
see why I'm a little
and
jaded on it
sperm. And then there was
also,
this
like,
one
the
dude
boo.
who said, "Oh, well, the egg and the sperm are alive," and it's like, no, they're not alive until they meet. Once they meet, that's when you have like a living being that I believe officially has rights. And so that's what I believe pro-life is that the baby in the womb has rights. But also we're fighting on behalf of that woman
depends on the
because
age,
sometimes
dude.
there are
It
cases
really-
where she'll go
it
to the
depends on
Planned
how
Parenthood
old,
Center
I think.
and she'll get bullied and coerced into doing something she doesn't want to do, like terminating the pregnancy sometimes.
Breathing,
How
does it have
can
lungs?
we
If it has
unite
lungs, it's like
pro-choicers and pro-lifers to find common ground?
mammalized.
Well, this is
doesn't
a
look like
very
a
tough
tadpole.
question, but I think that pro-choicers
Maybe it's a little
and
different when you're
pro-lifers,
blending
at
up
least to some degree,
what looks like a
believe that they
penis.
want
That's a little
what's
different.
best for everyone.
Maybe.
Like pro-choicers will talk about like prenatal care and paid family leave and stuff like that, and these are things
gotta
like that
catch
like
it soon
conservatives
enough.
have
You
kind of
gotta
been
catch
like
it
weak
before
on
it's breathing, I
that they
feel.
need to improve upon,
Otherwise it's kinda
right?
fucked up.
Because we can talk about a baby living, right? But I think the main concern obviously is like what happens after that. And I think if we can sort of unite on like, hey,
Before the
we want
pain
to advocate for
receptors are there,
children,
you know?
we want child care, we want all these other services
Is
that
that-
a lot of
is
us
that good
actually
enough?
believe in that are more like bipartisan, then
see what what
that's
this
when
kid
we
has
can
to say
unite
right now.
on
I'm
this
sorry.
whole
I don't
abortion
care what
issue,
kids
because
say
I
about
think,
abortion.
you know, even though
Is that
maybe
wrong?
some
I mean,
people
the
say
dude
it's an
looks like he's
excuse, there are
16.
some people who do legitimately want the
Can't
child to
even
have a
fuck
good
yet,
life
really,
if they're gonna
legally,
be
can he?
born, right? You know, so.
And then what would be your message to kind of educate people to being pro-life?
Well, it's like some people will tell me, well, this whole thing has no effect on your life. Like if a woman goes get an abortion, there's no effect on there is no direct effect on me. Just like if someone like started a shooting at a bar, that there's no direct effect on me. However, that doesn't justify that action, right? We hear a lot about, you know, people who agree with this stuff talking about shootings and gun violence and things like that. And these are things that don't even affect them directly, but they actually know that it's not just to go and shoot people, because there's a lot of bloodshed involved in that. And the same thing happens with abortion, you know, and in some cases the mom ends up dying because of what happens.
Yeah.
So
No, that's an excellent point you made about people fighting for a cause that doesn't affect them, but then they tell us, oh, why are you fighting for abortion doesn't affect you?
right, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying, is like there's like hypocrisy, like they're fighting for stuff, right? Just like a white person ransacking Walgreens or Macy's on behalf of Black Lives Matter on issues that do not directly impact them, right? Certainly, I mean, I would say in certain police departments that need to be reformed, there's obviously like racist actors. I'm not saying that the police in general are racist, because there are bad apples everywhere. I say this: bad teachers, bad firefighters, they're everywhere. It doesn't have to do with race. It just has to do with character, like the person. It doesn't have to do. It's not like this systemic oppression of black people.
stay here.
Like the fire department
leave.
isn't going to show up at a white person's house and put out their fire, but then not show up at a black person's house and put out their fire. That I could see that being an argument for systemic racism, but I don't know of many cases where that's actually happened.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, Max. Thank you, man. Always a pleasure, man. God bless. It's not only going to rain, but I think it's just a couple drops. It should be fine. So that was Max, everyone. That dude's a good dude. Oh, Max, real quick. Where can the folks find you at?
So go to Instagram, find me on @outrageteen_. Same thing with Twitter. And same thing on TikTok, and then same thing on YouTube. Yeah.
Whatever,
Right on, man.
man.
Appreciate
He's trying to be a politician. I
Nice.
think I remember that dude.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. See ya.
Future
Yeah,
politician.
so, Max, excellent point.
He
I always
wants
like
to
talking to
go
Max.
out of high
Go
school
follow him on
to
Instagram,
be a
outrageteen_.
So many kids.
Good
try to do that
content.
weird
Always
shit,
has
dude.
good stuff.
I want to be a
so God bless
politician
Max.
when I
always
grow up.
appreciate him. He's young dude. I think he just turned 18. I think he just turned 18. So he might be voting. I think he already voted actually in the midterms. I think he did. Anyways, young dude knows his
Exactly.
stuff.
See?
Good for the Gen Z generation. You know, good for all generations. So shout
Trying
out
to
to
be
Max
one
and
of
God
them.
bless him. It is starting to rain, so I'm gonna put my hoodie
Our
on.
forefathers
So,
that created this country.
if
didn't
you
go to
guys are liking
college
what
to
you're
be a
seeing, do hit
politician.
that like button. Let me check my battery real quick to see where it's at.
They were like, I want to be a politician.
Okay.
Uh,
So, okay.
like, how did George Washington even become president?
I say you guys, if you guys are all with me here, but my battery is at 53%. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna
You're running shit, buddy.
I'm gonna cut the live for right now. What's up, Sonia? I'm gonna cut the
Or
live
did he have
right now.
people run against
Oh,
him?
so just go on Instagram, Outrage Teen. If you can't find them,
don't think
go on
so.
my page today with Julius on Instagram. Look in who I follow and type in Outrage, and then you'll find them. So, anyways, I'm going to get going. Yeah, I'm gonna get going. Somebody said, Julius, do you need a backup battery? Or no, it's fine. It's all good. What I'm gonna do is cause I only got 53% on this my phone right now, and I want to get the March. So I don't want my phone to be like dead while I try to get this March. So I'm gonna end the live for right now, and I'm gonna just what's up, man? I'm gonna end the live right now. I'm gonna get the March so I can kind of film that, and then I'll be right back. And hopefully, if it stops raining, I'll try to get some more interviews. But until then,
So he doesn't
appreciate
have
you guys.
battery
I'm trying to
pack.
click back to see what's going on. I appreciate you guys for
Fuck,
watching.
man.
If you guys like this video, do hit that like button.
What the
Subscribe
fuck?
if you're not subscribed already.
battery
Comment
pack,
below
huh?
what you guys think about the interviews. Again, I appreciate you guys for watching. God bless you guys. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. Appreciate all the support. If you guys want to support me, all the links are down below to keep this page going, to keep this channel going. You want to follow me on all other social media platforms. Do follow me on all the links down below. Today with Julius on all platforms. God bless you guys. My phone's getting wet. I don't want it to not work anymore.
Who is he to bless people?
God bless. I will see you very soon. I'll try to come back live again. We'll see what happens. If not, just follow me on all social media platforms. Today with Julius. God bless you guys, and I'll see you guys very soon.
Who has told this guy he can bless people, and he is doing it rampantly? He needs to knock it off. He's not the blesser of people. He's just some guy asking questions, man. He hangs out with Oreo Express, man. He lets Oreo Express talk shit about him being black. And he'll just be like, yeah, I am black. Oreo. You're so Oreo.
Right now, the FBI is searching for four Americans who were kidnapped after crossing the Mexican border. Now the feds say they need help.
They were last seen on Friday in a town called Matamoros.
The U.S. consulate had just issued a warning about a growing drug war. William LaJeunesse joins us from our Los Angeles bureau. Good morning to you. What do we know about the missing Americans?
Missing.
Details right now are still a little sketchy. As you said, this happened just over the U.S. border in Matamoros, just over the border from Brownsville, Texas, well south of Houston. There was some drone video that we had. The Ford apparently just driven their van with North Carolina plates over the border in the afternoon. Minutes later, they come under gunfire. Surveillance cameras showed armed men with rifles, bulletproof vests, toss at least one female in the back of a white pickup. Tamaulipas State Police said the cartels killed or injured several people on Friday. They did not specify if any were American. Now, the FBI put out a $50,000 reward for information on this kidnapping and told employees at the U.S. consulate there to avoid the area. Tamaulipas is one of 6 Mexican states already on the do not travel list due to crime and kidnapping. Several other states, they said, reconsider travel.
That's interesting.
Only 2 states near Cancun are considered safe. You got violent crime, homicide, kidnapping, carjacking, robbery. Pretty common down there, and kidnapping is a very big business. Anyone with value. So that's it as we stand right now. I've talked to the FBI this morning. They did not give us any additional details. I've also talked to some intelligence people in the Border Patrol, and they said, you know, it's sketchy right now, but this does not sound so random, meaning you come over the border, you stop in for a taco or to get a Coca-Cola, and then you come under gunfire. We're not saying there is a cartel connection. On the other hand, they also it sounds a little sketchy. Back to you.
Terrifying to anybody who has plans to go to Mexico, nonetheless. All right, William LaJeunesse, thank you.
And I see, like, I'm in the tequila subreddit, and people are always talking about going to Mexico down there to pick up bottles. I'm like, I don't know about that, dude. Tequila ain't that good. Fuck that shit.
We begin with breaking news in Long Beach. That's where police opened fire on a stabbing suspect. This is a live picture from the scene in the 5200 block of Atlantic Avenue. Investigators say officers responded to a parking lot at a strip mall shortly before 7 for a report of a stabbing in progress.
Yeah, and those officers say they opened fire once they arrived on the scene. A male suspect and the stabbing victim are hospitalized right now in critical condition. We're hearing that no other injuries have been reported.
Well, Atlanta police are now charging 23 people with domestic terrorism after what police call a coordinated attack on a police training center that is under construction. That update coming in the last 20 minutes. This all happened yesterday afternoon. NBC News correspondent Guad Venegas joins us live now from Atlanta. So, Guad, take us through the violence that erupted. What precipitated this big clash?
I wonder if he's gonna like it. No.
Vicky, this is something that goes back months. This is a site where the police department
very violent attack.
Charged with
overall mood in Atlanta. What talk to
other places. In fact, 2 are from other countries. One is from Canada and the other one is from France, according to the police, Vicky.
What talk to us about the sentiment there and the overall mood in Atlanta with these Stop Cop City protests, even though What is the mood there? What is the relationship between the police and the community?
So how many of them there are, dude?
So the police has been focusing their efforts on patrolling this area. We know that in January there was another incident in which other protesters were camping out in this forest area.
They can't get rid of these people,
this Cop City training facility is going to be built in this area. This is southeast of downtown Atlanta.
I don't get it. There was a video of it though. The Cop City. I bet. Find it. Now, which one is it? Be the one?
Police in Georgia this morning say they were attacked in a violent protest at the construction site of the new Atlanta Public Safety Training Center. They say protesters who had just left a nearby music festival threw explosives and Molotov cocktails at police officers and set equipment on fire.
This was a very violent attack that occurred this evening. Very violent attack. And this wasn't about a public safety training center. This was about anarchy, and this was about the attempt to destabilize.
Authorities say there were more than 100 people and that this was a coordinated attack on officers and equipment.
During that attack on the officers, pieces of equipment and other items that were at the location for the construction of the public safety training center were damaged.
Police arrested more than 24. Atlanta's police chief says what happened was not a legitimate protest and that many of those arrested were not from Georgia.
When you throw commercial grade fireworks, when you throw Molotov cocktails, large rocks, a number of items at officers, your only intent is to harm. And the charges are going to show that tonight when we make the appropriate charges.
This is the latest in a series of clashes with police. In January, one of the demonstrators was shot to death by a state trooper at this site. But one thing we need to underline, even though the environmentalists call this Cop City, it was approved by Republicans, Democrats at the city and state level who are white, black, and brown.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC 7 Chicago Eyewitness News.
Not just white. Man. They're gonna charge the shit out of those people. What else is on? What about yellow and red? What? That news stream is what news stream? That stream. Well, now what? Talking about.
Now, as part of the briefing before you start your work, did you learn that there had been a victim that had left the scene and there was some information or evidence that may need to be collected?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that vehicle that you responded to part of what you had learned? Was that evidence?
Yes, ma'am.
When you respond to that vehicle, what do you do?
First on scene, would take photographs of the vehicle, and there was some EMS personnel there that pointed out there.
Hold up. The Atlanta people are they demanded it. This is them talking about demanding it to be canceled. Cop City.
Authorize this project where someone was killed, you have a responsibility not just to completely pause and halt the project, but also to provide some basic transparency around the actual circumstances of this killing. Your officers were involved in taking somebody's life, and again, it's been done with science. Southern Center can provide a full list of the things that you all can be providing, but to name a couple, we need all law enforcement agencies, officers, and identification numbers released. We still need that information about who was on the ground at the time. This is a complete application of duty. Likewise, the public deserves to know which agencies banned carry operations, which agencies let it. There should be a release of all body camera footage available, both audio and visual, from all law enforcement agencies that are on the site, as well as any agencies involved in any arrests of anybody on the scene. These are all basic, simple things that cities should be doing in the wake of police killings, and again, it's been complete silence thus far from this council. Again, there's more we can share on the exact things that you asked for, or that you can ask for and that you can promote for the public. But I want to say that the lack of transparency around this killing of Tortuguita is the same lack of transparency that's occurred throughout this entire process. The Community Stakeholder Advisory Committee, which had been entrusted supposedly to collect input, was basically just dismantled because it was such an obvious sham. The supporter report has done incredible reporting on this. The city's not even using it anymore, and they're creating a new task force, because I guess that's what you do when you don't get the information you want from the first Community Advisory Committee. At the same time, we're seeing sweeping repression, mass arrests, overzealous criminal prosecutions. Over 40 people have been charged with domestic terrorism, many of which have been for things that are not really to no more than criminal trespass, which is what people who just got proclamations have themselves been arrested for. And now we're charging them with domestic terrorism. You all are people who can recognize that that on its face is ridiculous. Charging protesters as part of the social movement with domestic terrorism is a dangerous sign of where things are going when it comes to police repression of our movements. This should all be deeply concerning to you as council members, and I will tell you they are concerning to many national human and civil rights organizations who are flooding in to monitor the situation because they are seeing that despite the way that Atlanta likes to talk about civil rights history, it has completely disregarded the civil and human rights of its people. You've already received a letter sent by the Southern Poverty Law Center and the Southern Center for Human Rights to the United Nations body charged with evaluating nations on police violence. People are watching. All eyes are in Atlanta, and they're not going anywhere. There are thousands of people here for the week of action. This is the 5th week of action. You've seen clergy, community members, preschoolers marching through the streets who are near the site, environmentalists, abolitionists, activists from all over who are committed to stopping custody. This is not a problem that's going to go away if you are able to remain silent about it for long enough. This is the body that authorized the creation of this facility. This is the body that authorized the creation of a facility where someone has now been killed. At the very least, you all can recognize that it's time to pause and halt this project, do a full, transparent, independent investigation, and call off custody.
Thank you. Next will be Satya Balti, or Bhakti, sorry.
Hi everybody, my name is Satya Bhatti. I'm a nurse and also an organizer with the PSL, Party for Socialism and Liberation. And I'm here today with many from the community to demand that the city immediately end its support for the Cop City project. Stop Cop City now. Cop City is a project of oppression, death, police terror. A project to further militarize the police to suppress the mass social movement of millions of people that we will see in this country
Next is Leo C.J. Allen. Anthony. Jody Williams. I can't quite. Williams.
I yielded my time.
Oh, thank you. Matthew Johnson. Matthew Johnson. Barbara.
Mackerel, bro. You got the mackerel one. The small mackerel. They're whole small mackerels, dude. And olive oil. It's like sardines up there.
My whole life, I'm not an outsider, and I'm here to say to you that I find Cox City to be an abomination. My husband is a pastor of a church a couple of miles from here, and he could not be here today. He's out of town, but he stands with me with these comments. One of the things that we hate is religious hypocrisy. And I have to tell you that when I heard that prayer at the beginning of this meeting about this being a sacred and holy place, about this being the people's house, then I know that before that decision was made, you all were supposed to listen, I don't know if you did or not, to 17 hours of testimony, 70% of which was in opposition to this facility, that there were emails and phone calls and all sorts of other expressions of opposition, and yet you voted for it. I think it's a little hypocritical to ask the Lord to bless your work. I could talk long, but the people who spoke before me have said
It's hard to hear. It's too hard to hear. I'm going to change it.
I pretty much agree with every single thing they have said about this insanity that you all are calling a police safe.
Hard to hear, bro.
A video has resurfaced of a UFC fighter calling out Jimmy Kimmel, Hollywood, and many others for being friends with Epstein. And he says, until that list comes out, all of these people are, I'll keep it family friendly, let's just say child abusers, to put it very, very lightly. The reason why this story is funny, first, let me just fact check real quick. The video, which is going viral as of March 5th, with 3.2 million views, is actually from August of last year, so not that long ago. And it's funny because Jimmy Kimmel recently ragged on Aaron Rodgers for saying, we want to see the Epstein client list. Oh, Jimmy, are they going to find out that you're on it? I don't know. Let's read the news. Let's get started by providing you with the important context of understanding what this video is by playing it for you. Now, again, this video's got 3.2 million views. The tweet itself has 8.7 million views, and it's by a Twitter account called Michael3147. No idea who it is. Who is this 2,000 followers living in the Truman Show? Let's play the video clip.
To all those doubting my NFT, you're looking at the guy that's the reason that college athletes and high school athletes are getting paid today. Mr. Influencer to influencers. Secondly, Jimmy Kimmel, viral this. I fight to eradicate childhood malnutrition from the planet. And until they release the flight logs, you, the mainstream media, Hollywood, are all pedophiles to me. Eat dick. Am I canceled yet.com?
Am I canceled yet, he says. Well, here's the story. We got this from Marca.com. This is from August 23rd, 2022. They say, Fury FC fighter Joel Bauman calls Jimmy Kimmel and Hollywood pedos in post-fight interview. Wow. After his win at Fury FC 68, MMA fighter Joel Bauman had some harsh words for Jimmy Kimmel and others in a certainly odd post-fight interview in the octagon. Bauman had defeated Anthony Ivy before he went on a rant about the new NFT that he's about to launch and called himself the reason that college and high school athletes are getting paid nowadays. Well, good for you, bro. Joel Bauman called out late-night TV show host after his win and told him to viralize the Bauman fights to eradicate the childhood malnutrition from all over the world. Barstool Sports tweeted it out August 22nd, 2022, 8:35 a.m. So it's a little bit of an old video. But it's going around now, getting a lot of attention. And when I saw it, I just had to think, Jimmy Kimmel, why are you ragging on Aaron Rodgers? Uh-oh. Here's a story from the Daily Mail. Green Bay whack Packer Jimmy Kimmel takes aim at Aaron Rodgers over his comments on Jeffrey Epstein and UFOs before longtime teammate David Bakhtiari steps in to defend the quarterback with a very fiery riposte. A riposte. So I don't know if they actually have the video of Kimmel saying his dumb Kimmel things, but it's really stupid. Basically, you got Aaron Rodgers and he's just sitting there in an interview and he's like, yeah, I want to see the Epstein flight logs. Yeah, I want to see the Epstein client list. And they're like, okay. And then Jimmy Kimmel's like, why would anybody want to see that, you crazy old conspiracy theorist? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, buddy. Aaron Rodgers' days in the Green Bay may be numbered in Green Bay, but it appears he still has support of longtime teammate David Bakhtiari. Even off the field, Rodgers was the target of mockery this week from Jimmy Kimmel during his eponymous late-night show, where the host made fun of Rodgers' recent opinions on UFOs and Epstein. On a February appearance on the Pat McAfee show, Rodgers shared some of his views on the topic. Quote, I believe that this has been going on for a long time. Interesting timing on everything. There's a lot of other things going on in the world, Rodgers said in the clip shown on Kimmel's show. The show then jumped to a segment where Rodgers said, did you hear about the Epstein client list about to get released? Yeah, that's what they've been saying. There's some files that have some names on it that might be getting released pretty soon. Kimmel then said it might be time to revisit that concussion protocol, Aaron, after referring to him as a tinfoil hatter earlier in the segment. Bakhtiari, who played in the last 10 years with Rodgers, hit back on Kimmel on Twitter after coming across the clip. Tell me you're on the Jeffrey Epstein client list without telling me you're on the Jeffrey Epstein client list, he tweeted. Whoa. Oh, boy. Rodgers had been discussing UFOs earlier in the segment on the Pat McAfee show, saying there's a lot of old papers and files about interactions Navy pilots have had with unidentified flying objects. So this is not surprising. And it's true. And I'm not saying aliens exist. I'm saying, yeah, they've given those interviews. Jimmy Kimmel is the worst kind of deranged piece of garbage. Can I be mean? Matt Walsh gave me permission to be mean. Jimmy Kimmel, you suck. I'm still not that mean, but mean enough. Jimmy Kimmel's a trash human being. Rodgers had been discussing UFOs. Obviously, there was some sort of Chinese spy balloon that was up in the air, allegedly, and there's been a few other objects that have been shot down. McAfee asked Rodgers if Rodgers thought these events were a distraction from other world happenings, to which he said, well, take a look. The Epstein client list might come out. And we've been hearing rumors about this, but we'll see. I really doubt it. And we got Myth-Informed Milwaukee saying Jimmy Kimmel claims Aaron Rodgers a tinfoil hatter for wanting to know the names on the Jeffrey Epstein client list. And David Bakhtiari says, tell me you're on the list without telling me you're on the list. Ooh, a good use of a meme, sir. He previously said on the Pat McAfee show that he hoped to have a better sense of where I'm at in my life upon returning from a 4-day darkness retreat. But Packers GM Brian Gutekunst told reporters Tuesday at the Combine that there were no updates to his situation. Gutekunst said he hadn't spoken much with Rodgers since the end of season meetings. He declined to say outright whether or not the team wanted him back. ESPN cited league sources in January who believed the franchise preferred to move on from the quarterback, while the network's Jeff Darlington added an update on Tuesday. The situation between Rodgers and the Packers, both publicly and privately, is feeling more like two sides trying to navigate the perceptions of a breakup rather than two sides trying to find a way to continue forward together, he wrote on Twitter. I got to wonder what's going on with this Jimmy Kimmel guy. I don't know what his association with the Epstein stuff is. I don't think he's that important of a guy. Like when you think about Jeffrey Epstein, you got like Bill Clinton and Bill Gates up there. A lot of bills, a lot of big bad bills. All right. And they're reportedly on those flight logs. So I'd like to see who the clients were. I mean, Ghislaine Maxwell's in jail. Epstein was going to jail and then was unalived, however you want to describe it. And, I want to know who was associating with them and why. Jimmy Kimmel, if I was going to, he's like you guys ever see that show Recess? And that old cartoon? Come on, you guys remember that one. And Miss Finsterhand, Randall, was that his name? Randall? The hunchback little kid who was always with the teacher and tattling on people and stuff like that. That's like what Jimmy Kimmel would be. Okay, look, I get he's got a little bit more charisma, but he's a real B-tier kind of guy. He goes on his show, he says things, cue the audience laughter. The big signs flash and say laugh and applause, and people go ha 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 ha, and they clap. I don't see this guy as being a top player. I don't see this guy as being the type of person who would be invited to the island.
They did the same thing for Elvis, though.
You know, far be it from me to know who Jeffrey Epstein was associating with. Okay. Kimmel, to me, is a B-tier guy who'd be going, oh, Bill, can I come on the plane with you? And Bill's like, get out of here, Jimmy, you're so annoying. And then Jimmy Kimmel's like, come on, guys, you never let me go to the island with you. That's what I see with it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I wouldn't be surprised if information came out and Jimmy Kimmel ain't anywhere near it. Not for lack of trying, to be completely honest. I think the dude's a whack job creepo. And the things he's talked about pertaining to COVID and now Aaron Rodgers, it's the weirdest thing. It's just so weird. His dismissals are just not good. You know, like, give us, look, you come to me and say, craft an argument for anything. I will do my darndest to give you a good argument. Tell me, why is cheese not good? Well, let me explain. Cheese is not good because when it gets exposed to air and then it starts to curl and, you don't want that. Plus, the high fat content, you can't have too much anyway. Cheese, I'll at least give you a try. Not, the reality is cheese is delicious. It's amazing and should be on all foods, no matter what, even ice cream. I'm kidding. But Jimmy Kimmel goes on stage and he'll be like, you see this Aaron Rodgers guy? Heh, what an idiot. And then everyone just starts laughing. Okay, bro. You know what really freaks me out is I think the only reason we are seeing a bifurcation in American culture. Okay, let me slow down. I think one of the strongest reasons we're seeing a bifurcation is that smart people have the capabilities to go on the internet to expand and augment their perspicacity. Meaning the average person can go online and learn stuff good, and learn stuff better than those who watch TV. Thus, they'll end up learning big words, like the stupid words that I just used for no reason. Now, the most annoying thing about the academic left, the top tier of the cult class in the cathedral, is that they use overly verbose descriptions of things that serve no purpose. Like, if I really wanted to explain something to you, I wouldn't literally say, you have the capabilities to traverse the internet to augment your perspicacity. But if you're on the left and you want to sound smart, such stupid people listen to you, maybe they'll be like, oh, I'll just tell you, he's had big words. If I was trying to communicate with you effectively, I'd say you can go online and fact check yourself, and you'd get it. But that's the reality of what the left is. Like that Yale study that found that liberals
he just did it, and now he's trying to take it back.
Conservatives don't.
The fuck?
Liberals will try to make themselves sound stupider.
I don't think
when
that
they
was
talk
scripted.
to black people. Well, because they're racist.
I don't think any of these are
conservatives
scripted,
don't.
Actually,
Jimmy Kimmel. It's simple. There's a reason why you don't like him. There's a reason why I don't like him. Because he may as well just be banging a cowbell going, Durr! And then you're going to be like, ha, 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 ha. I mean, you and I are going to be like, I don't understand. Case in point, try watching any one of these shows like Big Bang Theory with no laugh track. And it is cringe-inducing.
Watching any TV show without the track on is ridiculous.
But man, there really is a divide.
Because it's not that funny. None of them are that funny.
Ability to be stimulated between some people and others.
That's one of the reasons why I stopped watching TV.
I can't stand laugh tracks. They don't make me laugh.
They're fucking stupid.
But there are a lot of people who sit there staring
annoying,
at the TV.
Dude.
And then when the laugh track happens, they laugh.
Yep, they do. People do. It works.
Kind of scary, to be completely honest.
It really is, dude.
That's Jimmy Kimmel for you. So, if you want to live under a rock and listen to the TV man as he tells you Aaron Rodgers is bad, go ahead and do it. I don't care. I ain't convincing you otherwise, am I? If you already have the cognitive function for which you can augment your perspicacity, then do so. But you're probably already doing it. You're here watching this video. Anyway, whatever. I'll leave it there. Thanks for hanging out. Next segment's coming up at 6 p.m., and I'll see you all then.
I get a word every day. I get a word of the day. Well, bro, come on, man. It's not letting me. It's not letting me fucking press it because it says my thing's on. I have a thing on. I can't press it. Sorry, Dad, you don't get any more. I forgot to give you a little bit more. There's not any more, bud. Sorry. Dang, I was gonna give him more of it. I forgot. Shit. That was the first food I'd eaten today, though. I was kind of hungry. Got some crackers. He's had a full meal already.
Now let me back you up for just a little bit. There's a clump of trees. I'm going to point to it on here that
Ice
seem to be
cream man,
circling
double
something.
murder.
What are those trees circling?
This is circling the actual residence of 2935.
So when you're talking about searching around the property, are you inside that tree line or are you outside that tree
I
line?
actually took some photographs, and we're looking at one big site inside the
I gotta
tree
get
line
Simon's
that's
lunch
not-
ready, though.
But most of them were down in this area.
And how could you tell it was a dig site or a burn site? What indicates that to you?
Whoa, look at this.
The information really conveyed by the detectives when they were out there was they discovered usually when a
You can sit down if you want. Sorry, didn't mean to make you stand.
It's a rodeo in Houston.
a dead cow at one of the sites, and usually what happens when the cow decomposes and the soil will settle. So that was obviously one of the sites we went to, and then the other one appeared as a fresh dig site with there were some shoe marks around it. They were concerned about maybe photographing.
Did you ultimately take some casts and impressions of some shoes?
Yes,
Did you learn that there was a second site that may in fact have been another decomposed cow?
correct.
Did you focus your attention then on burn pits?
I did do a burn pit too.
And were those burn pits located around and outside of this tree line?
Burn pit was like right up in this corner here. So it was outside the tree line, kind of, outside the fence line, but into the tree line a little bit.
All right, I'm going to show you some of the other photographs that were the aerial photographs taken. You let me know if any of those help you with your testimony regarding the burn pit. State's Exhibit 190C. What are we looking at here?
I can probably just pull it out better. This would have been the main line coming in from Bonita Springs. The residence would have been here, and back in this corner, this burn pit was right in the street here.
So top left-hand side of the photograph, just on the outside of the tree line, would have been the burn pit that became the focus of your attention?
Sort of the southwest.
Okay. Now let's talk about that burn pit. When you say a burn pit, you can have a seat if you want. What gave you the indication that something had been burned there?
There was a lot of burnt trash, and it's actually still warm. So the burn pit when we got there.
We'll get to it in a little bit, but did you take temperature readings?
Yes, I did.
All right, so describe the area that we're talking about when you're saying that it's a burn pit.
It was right outside the southwest corner of the residence, and we were basically maybe looking for some items of clothing or projectiles or casings in the actual area where they were burning trash.
Did you use metal detectors?
Couldn't use it inside the actual pit. We could use it around the burn pit, but it was too hot for the metal detector.
Outside of the burn pit, did you locate anything with the metal detector that was of relevance to your investigation?
No.
Now, can't use the metal detector in the burn pit, but did you sift through the contents of that burn pit?
Yes, we did.
How did you all do that?
Well, you just shovel the pieces out and try to locate whatever you can that's not burned or too hot.
What did you find?
There was one particular item, I think it's the hottest part of the burn pit, where there was some grayish blue clothing that we collected out of the pit.
Was Detective Greg Thomas working with you?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Was he essentially the law enforcement officer that was with you conducting your investigation?
Yes, he's the one that pointed it out to me.
Do you document that item? Photograph it, and then do you ultimately collect it?
Evidence marker it and collect it.
When you're doing all of this, is Detective Thomas with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have other items of evidence that become relevant to you from that burn pit?
No.
Do you have other work that you're doing on that burn pit?
Just the temperature settings. We're trying to figure out what the hot areas of the burn pit was. In case
okay, so walk me through that.
Things.
Walk me through how you guys are doing your temperature readings. What's your finding?
We photographed it, and then I have a infrared scanner that you use to point at the temperature, and you get a reading. And what we did is we marked off areas inside the pit and put markers down by areas that appear to be evidence of or items burnt. And then we put markers by all those, scanned them and got a temperature, and then collected anything we found, which was the clothing.
Did you document the temperature readouts at each of those evidence markers?
Yes, we did.
Now, fair to say that those evidence markers are still within what I'll call the circle of that burn pit?
They're inside the circle, yes, ma'am.
So if we're looking and calling it almost like a clock, they're at different numbers or points on that burn pit?
Yes.
Okay. What were the temperature readouts at each of the markers within that burn pit?
I'd have to
if you need to refresh your recollection with your report, go right ahead.
I know the hottest one we got was like 124 degrees. What I had was marker number 8. I don't know if you had a picture of that. That was the where the clothing was located.
Okay.
Registered 124 degrees.
All right. And then the next marker?
Then we went to marker number 9, which registered 102.5 degrees. Marker number 10 measured 107 degrees. Marker 11, 99.5 degrees. Marker 12, 104 degrees. And marker 13, 96.5 degrees. Marker 14, 118.5 degrees, and marker 15, 122 degrees.
Now, what time were you conducting your temperature readouts on December 4th?
That was later in the afternoon, probably around 1:30.
At that point, even though you can see the temperature readouts, can you still feel the ambient heat coming from this?
Oh, yes.
Is that what indicated to you maybe to take temperature readouts?
Yes.
Were there other burn pits on the property worked by either detectives or investigators that are not you?
Not on my side of the fence, no.
On the other side, would there have been potential items that Ms. Hager would have worked?
Yes.
And then was Detective Thomas, Greg Thomas, staying with you the entire time, or was he working other areas as well?
He was with me pretty much most of the time because him and my supervisor were the lead for me.
Was he there before you were?
Yes.
And did he stay after you did?
I'm not sure.
Okay. May I have a moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness. Yes, Your Honor. I'm gonna grab this. Yeah.
Good afternoon.
You indicated that there were several scenes that you attended and investigated, correct?
Correct.
I want to move specifically to the property, this last scene that you were just testifying to.
The search warrant?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe it was December 4th.
Correct.
Of 2010, correct?
2010.
So you were briefed prior to going to that property to look for specific items.
Yes, ma'am.
And what were those items?
Mainly they were concerned, they had already mentioned looking for possible spent projectiles, casings, ammunition, and I think it already came out because they were out there earlier than me about the burn pits and possible dig sites.
He's really pissed
So you
off
were
that I didn't
directed,
give him more
as you
fish.
mentioned, to the burn pits, the dig sites, and
Correct.
I believe you mentioned that in the dig sites there were buried animals. I think it was a
We
cow
did.
carcass.
Yes, ma'am.
Not unusual for animals to be buried outside of these types of properties.
No, I believe the homeowner is the one that pointed that out to us.
Rural area where there's farm animals, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you used a metal detector to search the specific areas you were directed to.
All of the dig sites and initially around the burn pit.
You did not find anything.
No, nothing metallic anyway. We did find some objects. I won't say nothing was found. As you're sifting with a metal detector, it'll alert you with a sound that there's something under there, and you'll dig that up, and it'll turn out to be a bottle cap or a can or something
Right.
like
So
that.
nothing of evidentiary value. Nothing as it relates to the projectiles, cartridges, or firearms that
Correct.
you were potentially looking for.
Correct.
And there was other law enforcement officers present. I know you said there was another crime scene investigator on the other side of the property.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you aware whether they conducted a grid search?
I know there was quite a few people over there. I really couldn't tell you because I didn't witness an actual grid search.
That's okay. And again, to the burn pits. Rural areas such as this one, it's not unusual to use burn pits to burn trash.
Correct.
And I know you mentioned there was a grayish blue clothing that you located.
Yes, ma'am.
Was it clothing or was it fabric?
Fabric.
You can't say what it was.
I couldn't tell if it was a shirt or a jacket or.
It wasn't something that you picked out as evidence. It was just to do the temperature reading that you previously testified to.
We could actually see it in the burn pit, and that's why we did the evidence marker and the temperature.
But again, its purpose was for the temperature reading, and you cannot say what type of item it was.
No.
I may have one moment. Another question.
No redirects. Community released by the state.
Released subject to recall or released by the subject to recall. All right. You may step down. No need to remain outside today, but you are subject to recall if we call you.
Yes, sir.
All right. You are welcome. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it is 4:56, so I'm going to send you home for the day. I'm going to remind you that you are not to do any research related to this case. You are to not discuss this case amongst yourselves or with anyone else, and you are to avoid any reports of this case outside of the courtroom. I will let you know that we are going to start back at 9 a.m. tomorrow, so if you can follow the instructions from the bailiffs, I believe they're telling you to get here at least 15 minutes or so before. They'll meet you out in the lobby, and they'll bring you around to the jury room. Please have a safe trip home. Please have a nice evening, and we will see you in the morning. All rise for the jury. The bailiff will collect them and return them to you in the morning. Be seated, and the door is now closed. Well, that was almost pretty much perfect. We got done before 5 o'clock, so that worked well. I think you deserve some credit for that. I just wanted to ask something, and then I'll see if either side has anything before we break for the evening. But on the exhibit numbering, it's a little different than normal. It appears that they are not composite exhibits. They're done separately, like 190A, 190B, 190C. Is there a reason that they're not like 190 A, B, C, and D?
Judge, I have to defer to Mr. Pruner did the numbering. We used the same numbering for last year from the last trial, so I'm not exactly sure why they're numbered the way they are.
Yeah, I didn't know something different, or it's a little unusual that they're separate. I don't think it's necessarily an issue, but on the list, referring back to 190, I don't have an E and F on the list.
Judge, there wasn't, and I don't know if we were using the same list from the last time, and I think that there were exhibits added as we went on that were not on the original list, so I'll have to go back.
Whatever. I'm gonna cut this off, y'all. Hey, y'all have a good one. Thanks for hanging out. There's nothing going on here. I don't have anything for you. Thanks for holding it down on Kick there, Tony G. Appreciate you, dude. Really do. Appreciate everybody holding it down on D-Live. Y'all want to get paid your nickels? Here's 2 pennies. Facebook, wherever anybody's at. YouTube. See you, Ted. Take it easy, everybody. Bye.